Hi guys, today we're going to be doing Suminagashi. Suminagashi is a type of Japanese artwork in which we float ink on top of water. These are special Suminagashi inks. I think you can see, oops, I got it upside down. Suminagashi inks you can get online. These are fabulous, and these inks are designed for this, and they actually float on the water. They come in little bottles like this. You can actually drop the inks into the water, but I find with students it's a lot easier if I let the students use small watercolor paint brushes to kind of dab into the ink and put it in the water. And so that works really well. There are lots of different brands of Suminagashi inks. I've found that they're all pretty good. This set is really cheap, and it works just great. I love it. So this is the set. I'm going to put it up here one more time so you can have a look at it. And I believe I got this from Dick Blick. Hello, Dick Blick. All right, so let's get to it. This is really a no-fail project, and you really don't need a lot of special supplies. I've got one of these ubiquitous trays that all the art teachers have. I think these are ideal for doing Suminagashi because of the dark color of the tray. Of course, my water is dark because kids have been doing Suminagashi, and all of the old ink has sunk into the bottom of the water and has turned the water black. But having the dark tray kind of helps it make it easier for kids to see the ink floating on top. I've got a watercolor palette. I've got some paper towels. I've got a pencil to write my name on my paper. I've got a cup to wash my brushes off between colors. I've got my marbling kit so I can get some more inks out. And I've got the paper pre-cut and ready to go because you don't want to mess around very long. Once you put the ink on the water, it only floats for a little while and then it sinks to the bottom. All right, so the water is pretty still. It's best when the water has been sitting for a few minutes, but I know the water isn't going to be very still while the kids are here, so it just kind of moves around. When the water's moving around a lot, the ink doesn't float as long. So I try to get the kids to be very still around the water, but we all know that's not going to happen. All right, so the water is still as it's going to get. I've got two brushes loaded. I've got one with blue and one with red. I'm going to dip each brush in the water. I don't have to worry about contaminating the brushes because it just kind of drops into the water and the colors don't really mix on the end of the brush. As you can see, the inks are floating on the water. This is amazing. Very addictive. Actually kind of meditative as well. This is a good cool down activity for kids. Kind of gets them still a little bit. Okay, so the colors are kind of running out a little bit. I'm going to get a little bit more on my brush. You can always tell when there's a lot of ink on the brush because it pushes all of the inks way, way, way out and you get that big circle. Suminagashi literally means spilled ink. And the ink isn't really so much spilled as it is very purposely and carefully placed on the water. Love that. You can kind of swirl the inks a little bit more if you want to. The students have a tendency to swirl too much and then they mix all the colors and there's nothing floating on the water to get on the paper. And then you're just going to pop the paper flat down onto the ink. Just float it right on the water. And I like to touch the corners and make sure all four corners are touching the water because sometimes they like to stick up. You don't have to let it sit very long. You can pick it right up and see your design. Whoa, that is so cool. I'm going to put one color on one paintbrush. I'm going to put another color on the other paintbrush. And then I'm going to take turns dipping them on the water. So when you put it on the water, it spreads out.
Okay, we get it now. We get it. Wow. This is amazing.
Okay. And then I'm going to rinse off my paintbrushes. Listen. Shh. I'm going to rinse off my paintbrushes. And I'm going to try a different color.
Oh, okay. That is amazing. So, oh, okay. Okay, we get it now.
Okay, so listen.
What are you making?
All right, then, I'm not done yet. Then I'm going to use the other end of my paintbrush, the stick end, to swirl it just a little bit.
Wait, let's go here in real life. Real life looks awesome.
All right, so now what's going to happen is I'm going to take my paper. Guys, you need to listen. Shh. I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to lay it down very, very carefully on the water. Now, this would be a lot better if everybody was not bumping into the table because it's moving the ink around, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to put this on the water and just float it right on top. Very carefully. I'm going to make sure that all the sides are touching the water. Yep, and then I'm going to take it off very carefully.
And then you'll have
Okay, no.
Then I'll be an awesome Christian, right? Okay. Awesome. There's no Wash my paper. And I'm going to do some thick. Okay. So take it off. Okay. My paper.
Let me see what it looks like.
See what it looks like.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Can we do another one?
Yep.